Welcome to Lesson 34A Part 2. We are going back and we are going to talk about elimination for this video. So this is a continuation of Lesson 34. Lesson 34. If you did not watch Part A, you don't have to watch in order, but this is Part 2. The first part, we talked about substitution, and then this video, we're going to talk about elimination. So, basics of solving a system of using elimination. This is my preferred method, but it's not always the easiest, and it doesn't always work. There's a method that will remind you of adding or subtracting decimal numbers. It also will remind you of adding polynomials. I see a lot of you guys, you will add like 2x squared plus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0, and then you'll add up like x squared plus x plus 2 is equal to 1. I've seen a lot of you add polynomials like this. You line up your like terms and then you add them, which is great because we are also going to do that today, but it's going to help us eliminate a variable. That's probably one of the most important takeaways from this video, is that you have to be strategic in eliminating a variable in order to solve a variable and then being able to find the variable you eliminated. Okay, that's a great sentence for your summary. Go back and listen to that again. Elimination. Okay, what I notice is that the coefficient of the x term, coefficient, that means the number in front of the x term, happens to be opposite numbers for both equations. Opposite, like the opposite of 1 is -1, and the opposite of 3 is -3, and the opposite of -5 is +5. That's what opposite means. What would happen if I were to add the two equations? Well, this is a lovely question. I'm going to take this and I'm going to write it over here. 2x plus y is equal to 4, and then -2x plus 2y is equal to -4. I just want to start off by saying that in this equation, you have two variables. In order to solve a two-variable equation, you need to have at least two equations. So good thing we have two variables because we also have two equations. Now, the main way to solve this is that you have to eliminate one of the variables. We know how to solve if everything says x or if everything says y, but once you mix x's and y's, we don't know how to solve for them. So elimination is one of our strategies. Notice how this is +2 and then the opposite is -2. So if we add up all these terms, and this is legal algebra, if we add up our like terms, then we'll be able to eliminate one of the variables. Do you see which variable is going to get eliminated? Okay, so 2x plus -2x, that's going to be 0. 1y plus 2y, that's going to be 3y. And then 4 plus -4 is going to be 0. So this is totally okay. Now we're going to just solve for y. Divide by 3 on both sides. Y is equal to 0. Notice how when we added up the equations, we were left with just y, and all we had to do was solve for y, which we did. Now what we can do is go back and plug in 0 for y for either of these equations. I'm going to take this one. Watch. 2x plus y is equal to 4. I'm going to plug in 0 and get 2x is equal to 4. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 2 using my inverse operations, and I have x is equal to 2. So now I have solutions for both x and y. I didn't solve them at the same time. I solved y first, and then I solved x first. And that's the method that we are going to use. We're also going to take notes on the exact method. You should check your answer here by plugging it in to see if the equation is true. Okay. Using elimination method to solve systems of equation. Here are the steps. If you want to pause right here to write down the steps, that's fine. If you want to go through the example with me and then pause for the steps, that is also good. All right. I don't know why I don't have enough room. Okay. So I'm going to start all the way up here. 4x, I'm just going to copy down the problem. 2y equals 7. And then 2y plus x is equal to 3. I'm going to highlight the y's. And then I'm going to highlight the x's in a different color. Okay. Step 1, vertically line up the equal signs. Step 1, complete. Step 2, use inverse operations to vertically line up the like terms. Right now, they are not vertically lined up. Our x's are not lined up and our y's are not lined up. So watch how I switch around the x and y values. This has a positive in front of it, right? I'm going to carry the term with its sign with the term. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the first. Am I on? Yeah, I'm on step 2. I'm going to rewrite the first line. Negative 2y plus 4x is equal to 7. And then I'm just going to copy it down. 2y plus x is equal to 3. Okay, good. Step 2 done. Step 3, vertically add the equation so that one variable is eliminated. Remember, we cannot solve both variables at the same time. We have to eliminate one, solve the one that's left over, and then plug it back in. Okay, so let's add this up. Negative 2y plus positive 2y is 0. 4x plus 1x is equal to 5x. And then 7 plus 3 is equal to 10. So at this point, we need to solve for the variable. Step 4, solve for the variable. Divide 5 by both sides. X is equal to 2. Substitute your answer into one of the original equations. I'm just gonna take the first one. It doesn't matter which one it is, but I'm gonna rewrite it. 4x minus 2y is equal to 7. Now, we eliminated y, and we have an x value. Now we're gonna solve for y because we have one of these unknowns. So 4 times 2 minus 2y equals to 7. 8 minus 2y is equal to 7. Negative 8. Negative 2y is equal to negative 1. Divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. Y is equal to 1/2. Oh no, a fraction. No, fractions are fine. Okay, solve for the other variable. That was step 6. Where was step 5? Oh, substitute answer, right? Step 5. Got it. Okay, that is an example of elimination. We're going to be doing more practice on this in class. If you get an answer and you think it's unsure, what can you do to check your work? Oh, that's right. Just plug it in to check. So let's plug in 4 if our x is equal to 2. Oh no, minus 2y, and for y we got 1/2. Is that equal to 7? Is 8 minus 1 equal to 7? Is 7 equal to 7? Yes. So the solution, you can write it as x is equal to y is equal to 1/2, or you can write it in as a coordinate, 2, 1/2. Okay? So the last thing you're going to do in your notes is you can pause and you can take a look at these reflection questions. This is where I'm going to wrap up so you have time to read the question. How do our answers compare from when we solved the system by graphing to when we solved the system using substitution? Think back to our classwork and then think back to the examples today. Then you can tell me a little bit why you prefer which method. And then I want you to think. This is to prepare you for discussion questions in the future. Does the substitution method always work? Why or why not? Can you come up with a counter example? Write that down in your notes and don't forget to summarize. Summary. Go through, annotate your notes. What are caution signs or question marks? And we will see you tomorrow. Bye.